Show you a little bit about one of the things inside of NESARA that is so cool. Okay, sales tax is actually broken up. Now in the city of Tulsa, it's 8.517. Inside of that, there is county, city, and state taxation. Now when we add the point of federal taxation, that will actually come into this. But you're going to see how it actually will work. Now, when we have sales tax that's tacked on here, the Fed tax is going to be 14%. And you're like, oh my gosh, 14%. Here's what it excludes. It's going to exclude any used parts, and it's going to exclude necessary stuff. Oops. Necessary stuff. Which would mean like food and drugs kind of things, the things that you need. I didn't say illicit drugs, I mean the good drugs. Okay, so what happens if you buy a house, a used house, you don't pay sales tax. If you buy a used car, you're already paid, it's over, okay? So what happens in here is this is called a use point. So let's just say in Tulsa, that's 22.517 in tax. And that's like, oh, that's a horrible number. But here's how perfect sales tax actually is. If you just use sales tax and Joe, who makes $50,000 versus Jim, who makes $250,000, who's going to pay more in sales tax for new items? Well, you already know the answer. I can't do a star rate today. Jim is the dude that's going to pay more. See, most of the poor people try to say the rich don't pay their fair share. They're right. The rich don't pay their fair share because they find a way to get around it. The middle class pay their fair share. Even the higher incomes of the upper middle class, they still pay most of their fair share. But the really rich ones, you can never get their fair share from them because they have a way of getting around the system. But when you have it as a sales tax, no one gets away from this system. So if you make $250,000 or $200 million, whatever, you have to pay sales tax, and Jim is always going to pay more than Joe. That's just the simple, gorgeous way of this system that will happen. And it'll run everything that we need to do in the government. Next screen here. I want to answer and finish this with this last little point. So I'm going to erase the screen because I want you to just focus on me on this thing. We'll kind of leave it over here on the left side. You've got friends and family who haven't woken up. When they wake up, and they're looking at you like you're stupid. Trust me, I have family that say the same thing. I have friends that say the same thing. I have friends and family who have blocked me on Facebook or everywhere else, okay? They think I'm crazy. And they think of, your circumstance is just it's so out of bounds. It's so ridiculous, just like the movie Matrix. When Neo is waking up, that he's like, this can't be right, this can't be right. And he realizes that it is right, even though he'd been living a fantasy world. That's why it's such a powerful movie point. I want you to think about a puzzle. So in your head, take out a puzzle in your head. And normally you work from, if you have a 1,000-piece puzzle, okay? And you have the little pieces here and little pieces there and pieces everywhere, right? And you organize them. First, you kind of work on your outline, and then you organize the puzzle pieces here, and you got more puzzle pieces there. And you kind of try to find the things that are in common. And you, if you've been awake for a long enough time frame, of your 1,000-piece puzzle, have put together maybe 800 pieces. Let's just make up a number, okay? None of us have put all the puzzle pieces together. Your friends and family are going to ask you a question. How come you saw this and I did not? No, it's a valid question. No, the first thing that some people are going to want to do is go, I told you so. Look, I told you, I told you, I told you, right? And they're trying to tell their friends and family that. And I'm like, would you chill out? But you need to ask this question over here that you're seeing. Why did you know? Or they're saying basically, why did you know that I didn't know it? What they're really asking is that if I saw that one piece of the puzzle, they're thinking about this one piece of that puzzle. If I had seen that and it was highlighted to me, then I would have put it together. So whether they said, how come you saw this and I didn't, or what did you know that I didn't? They're basically saying, if I had seen that piece, I could have put together the puzzle all the way through here. The answer is a question. Jesus, here's a business principle. People have been using this business principle for years. Jesus would actually get asked a question by the smartest people in the room, or the Sanhedrin. And they'd say, well, they'd ask a question. He goes, I'll answer that question if you answer this one. And they talk, well, we don't, if we say it this way, we're going to be screwed, and we say it this way, we're going to be screwed. And they're like, we don't know. He goes, neither will I tell you the answer to that question. It was such a gorgeous way of doing it. As they were trying to trap him, he's going, I'm not going to be trapped by your stupid. Okay? I'm not going with your stupid stuff. That's what you have to actually do. Yeah, I know you want to say you're stupid. The answer is that's not the way that we need to do this. And if you're watching this and you were sitting over there and you're starting with square puzzle piece 1, you're really asking this question, why didn't I get that piece of the puzzle? And the answer is your friends have been saying, it's right there, it's right there, it's right there. I put it in the place for you. That's what they're frustrated about. You didn't see it because you didn't want to. You wouldn't follow the evidence. What's the evidence? Now, anyone who's ever done a puzzle puts together a piece and that goes with another piece. And it seems to go together right there. But as you get toward the end of the puzzle, let's say you're down to the last 5 pieces of the puzzle, you realize, oh crud, that one goes there and this one goes over here. You find that you have to separate those puzzle pieces and plop them in different parts of the puzzle because they actually had somewhere that you didn't know. And no one's gotten the full puzzle. That's partly what the EBS will do. But the EBS will only take you so far. You've got to follow the evidence. Why don't people want to do it? It's they fear the unknown. They're just, I don't want to do this. I just want to fit in. My sister would say, I know all this stuff you're talking about, but I just wish things would go back to the way they were. That's what she's saying. They don't want to look stupid. Let me tell you a little story. November 22nd, 1963, JFK dies, was killed. They wanted to pin it on Lee Harvey Oswald, but there's some impossible shots in the way that they had to count out the shots that happened. There was a missed shot and there's another one, and one goes in and he's holding his neck like this, and then he goes back and forward like this. And if you're going back, that means you've been hit from the front in essence, okay? The thing that happens, and actually it was from the grating up in front, which makes him go like this, in this direction. See, some people want to say it's off of the tree line of the grassy knoll. It's actually from another direction. There might have been another kill point in that area too. But when the Warren Commission came out with their report, it's a big old thick volume. They just like kind of flopped it down. Bam, there it answers everything. And the Warren Commission with President Ford, the future President Ford, is upon this commission. And people were looking at it going, wait, that's not what happened. I was part of the evidence, and you didn't follow the evidence all the way through. What people were saying over and over again is that there was evidences that moved these pieces to different portions of the puzzle, but you put it in the wrong place. In essence, that's what they were saying. But instead of answering the question, here's what they do. They say conspiracy theory. This is part of Operation Mockingbird employed in the 1950s through the media. And it actually was employed through Hollywood. That they've been trying to tell you, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to be tinfoil hat idiot kind of stuff. I mean, even in the movie Men in Black, and I think it was the second one of Men in Black, but maybe first or second movie, and they your two main characters with Will Smith and the other guy, Tommy Lee Jones, actually go into this comic book shop, and they go upstairs and they talk to this kind of a geeky guy, and he's talking about all this, and they make him look like he's stupid, but he actually has a piece of the puzzle that is following a piece of evidence that he kind of gets a little bit wrong, but he definitely was putting the puzzle piece together. And they make him look like an idiot. I mean, he's a skinny little nothing guy, right? And that's how and even when it's true, that's how the CIA and all these idiots want to do this. They want to make you look stupid. I mean, and lastly, I'll tell you this way, they say the authority didn't tell me. My parents have actually said that exact same thing. Well, we listened to the authorities. Whether it was the CDC, FDA, whatever, about the face mask or the idiot vaccine, all this stupid stuff. They were trying to tell you a story with this. And they wouldn't spend time on personal research and looking at the logic patterns that are outside of their moronic stories. Their narrative is complete rubbish. And you know that. They actually knew it in their heart, but they really couldn't follow it forward because it meant this kind of thing. When I was talking to a physician, a surgeon actually, about masks, and I was giving her some points about masks, she didn't want to answer me. She kind of, well, what kind of doctor are you? And I said, what does it matter what kind of doctor I am? What does it matter? Could I just be a garbage man and give you truth? The answer is exactly. Actually, my old professor in college was a PhD English professor, and he used to be a garbage man. And he used to use this kind of conversation when he would talk about logic all the time. So I still use it to this day. The point is that, and then she was trying to just beat me up because I was the authority against her viewpoint. But she's trying to protect herself because she works in the hospital, and she's got to be beholden to the hospital. This is her job. But she couldn't answer it. And that's what happens. We want to either beat up authority, we don't want to look stupid because of the conspiracy theory labels that are thrown out there by the idiot left, the idiot, frankly, both sides of this thing. And we also have a fear of the unknown. But you, if you're watching this for the first time and you're trying to put this puzzle together, you have to come to Jesus conversation. You have to sit down there and go, why didn't I want to follow the evidence? And it's probably one of these three things within the realm of that. And you have to go, I was wrong. That's okay. Every one of us were wrong. Every one of us have had that come to Jesus point. And if you're thinking about your friends or family members, you're sitting there together right now, this is what you need to come to as well. So I hope this helps you to kind of get this and realize the debt and the red pill. This is the red pill event that we have to learn what our truth is. Are you going to take the red pill and go really deep into this rabbit hole? It's scary, but it's true. Or are you going to go blue and go back to stupid land? That's where you were. It's your choice. Thanks so much.